everyone. Welcome to Virtual Connections. My name is Kaylee Archer, and I'm the coordinator of marketing for Student Affairs. Before we begin, go ahead and type your name in the comments so we can mark you down for attendance so you can be entered in a chance to win a $500 book scholarship. With us today, we have Tia with Campus Activities and Recreation, Ashlyn with Care Team, Suzanne with Housing and Residence Life, Isabel with Office of Disability Services, and so each of our guests will be presenting to you all of the departments, and then we'll go over questions at the very end. So feel free to comment the questions that you have throughout the presentations, and we'll be sure to go back to them. But for now, we will start with Tia with Campus Activities and Recreation. So let me get that presentation pulled up, and we'll bring it over to you.
Hi, everybody. While Kaylee is pulling up that presentation, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Tia Hill. I'm Assistant Director in Campus Activities and Recreation. My primary job responsibilities are over the activities functions of campus life, and that means lots of programs and events for students like yourselves. So we'll go ahead and get started by telling you a little bit about Campus Activities and Recreation. We're a full professional staff divided up amongst professionals in student affairs, higher education, and recreation. And our goal is to provide activities, opportunities, and services for students to engage in a meaningful campus life experience. And that could be through sports, recreation, travel activities, or events both in and around the community. So when we talk about the things that we do in Campus Activities and Recreation, we can really divide it up into these 5 opportunities. So we plan a lot of amazing events throughout the year. We have programs and initiatives like aquatics and intramurals that support the functions of our students. We have many sports activities for students to participate in. We manage all those through the many facilities that we have. And then we offer opportunities for students to join in the attempt to get more meaningful experiences and some quality leadership experience. So next slide. So when your students arrive or when you arrive at Wichita State, you're going to be hit with a lot of events that you can go to, especially within the first 4 weeks of time at Wichita State University. Several of those we plan and coordinate ourselves, from our back to school bash, beach party, big bingo. We give away a lot of prizes. Most of the events that you see on here are free for students. Actually, all of the events that you would see on here are free for students. Some of the ones that may not be free is if we do like a road trip, and so we try to ask students to compensate through transportation expenses, or if we host a big concert and maybe you have to pay a ticket price. But majority of all of the experiences that you will see on campus offered to you are free of charge. Next slide. So programs that we offer within Campus Activities and Recreation, we offer a lot of ways for you to actively engage on campus. So we have a lap pool that we manage with our aquatics program, as well as a diving well. Our shocker rowing team, both men's and women's, they compete across the nation. You can join that. We have many sport clubs. Boats and Bikes is a downtown initiative where students can go and rent out those boats and bikes and have basically a lively experience down by the Arkansas River downtown. So that's a snapshot of a lot of the programs that we offer, and we hope that you find something in there that speaks to you. Next slide. So sports, intramurals and recreation and our sports clubs are a big opportunity for students who have been active in the past to continue that on through their collegiate experience. And so students might play badminton, basketball, esports, flag football, all of the things that you see on here. They can do that either through intramurals, which are different, like a group that you can join, or if you've already got a group of friends, maybe you want to play flag football, and then you've got a flag football season of about 4 weeks where you compete against other teams, and then We have sports clubs, which are kind of like your high school athletics, where maybe some of them are competitive and they travel to compete, such as our men's and women's soccer. Even our Quidditch team, that's a sport club. They compete, as well as soccer rowing. So a lot of opportunities for you to stay active and be competitive. So next slide. So this is about our facilities. All of the activities and events and programs that we offer are managed through the different spaces that we offer students. So I mentioned boats and bikes is downstairs. Our offices are located in a building called the Heskett Center. And in that Heskett Center, we have a circuit room, our diving well and lap pool. We have a gymnasium that has 4 full-size college-size basketball courts. 3 of them are hardwood, 2 are multi-purpose. And those can also be converted into our badminton courts, volleyball. People play futsal up there. So a lot of indoor experiences, as well as our outdoor fields where folks play intramurals. The soccer, flag football. We even have pickleball courts and basketball courts. So a little bit of everything for everybody. But when you arrive here to Wichita State, hit us up in the Heskett Center and we can give you a tour of all of our facilities. The one other thing that I'll mention is, although it's not part of our department, the university also has the YMCA on campus. Every student, once enrolled, they will automatically be a YMCA member. And that membership is not only for the Y on campus, but it extends in the community. That's really great, especially if you're a commuter and you can take advantage of that opportunity. Next slide. So last slide on here, probably one more, but joining. So a big part of the college experience is finding a place where you can belong. And you can do that through the Student Activities Council, which is a group I work with. They plan a lot of those programs that you saw on the first slide. They do Live with SEC, they do our concerts, our beach party. They work with our homecoming family weekend. They do a lot of the big programming initiatives on campus. The other ways that students can join and find that friendship and camaraderie is through signing up for an intramural team, maybe joining a sport club, or even taking an F45 class or a group class over at the Y. We offer so many ways for you to engage on campus, and we want to make sure that you take advantage of whatever is out there for the experience. So last slide. So all in all, like I mentioned, we are located in the Heskett Center. You can also reach out to us through our social media channels, our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and hit us up at wichita.edu/CAR or email us at car@wichita.edu. We look forward to seeing you in the fall semester, and especially at Back to School Bash, which is Saturday, August 20th. Hope to see you there.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Well, my name is Ashlyn Riley, and I am a coordinator for our care team here at WSU. And here at Care Team, we're here to just help support you on your journey through your college experience. We know that life can be stressful. We know that college can definitely be stressful. And so I'm here just to give you a little information about what we do and how we can help. So next slide. So what is Care Team? Care Team, we are here to provide a proactive and supportive approach to prevention, assessment, or intervention to situations that might interfere with a student's full potential, safety, or well-being at WSU. This can be anything from stressors related to academics, maybe it could be relationships. We are a triage service. So kind of what that means is we help connect students to those long-term resources, either on campus, such as CAPS, disability services, or in the community. So if you ever have a concern about yourself or a friend, or even your roommate, you are always welcome to reach out to us because we are here to help support you. So next slide. So here are some of the common concerns that we hear from college students as they are navigating the college experience. We've got financial stressors, mental health stressors, problems with self-care, just kind of needing help with coping skills, academic struggles, or even illness or injury. It happens to us. Life happens, right? And so any of these concerns and everything in between, we are able to help students with. And an important thing I want you to note is don't forget to update your emergency contact in banner. I know a lot of people skip that step, but it's so important to have that information, because if something were to happen, an accident, we need to be able to either let your family know or let a close friend know, or whoever it is that you trust and would like us to notify. That way they can get in touch with you and provide that support that you need. So next slide. So when, why, and how can you report to us? There are many different ways that you can get in touch with Care Team. As I said, being a WSU student, if you yourself have a question or a concern, maybe a fellow peer you see is struggling, or even a friend, we are here to help support you. So you can submit a report on our main webpage at wichita.edu/care. You can also go to our main Report It page and submit a report there, or you can always give us a call or come visit our office. Don't wait until it's too late. I think a lot of us are really used to pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, right, and just trugging along. But really, that's tough, and that can sometimes do more damage than good. And so give us a call. Let us know when you're struggling, when you have a question. We are here to help support you, get you connected to any resources that we can. So next slide. So what Care Team is not. This is a huge one. While we can help support students and get them connected to resources, there are also some things that we're not able to do. So for example, we aren't a crisis or emergency service. So if you or someone you know is in danger, harm to self or others, definitely reach out to 911 in that emergency, or call our campus police, or reach out to our local ComCare crisis. They're open 24 hours. We are also not a counseling service. So if you do need to talk to a therapist, you've got some things you need to work out, we have CAPS counseling here on campus, and we are happy to help you get connected with their office. There's also a community provider if you wanted to try to find one in the community as well. And most importantly is we are not confidential. We are mandated reporters. So we report to Title IX regarding domestic violence, sexual assaults, abuse, and we often will work with other departments on campus to make sure that we're providing that wraparound care and support that you might need. Next slide. So real quick and short, if you do have any questions for us, you are always welcome to reach out to our email. You can give us a call or stop by at our main office in the Radigan Student Center. You can also follow us on all of our social medias. We often have nice little positive pick-me-ups. I think we all need a little positivity in our lives. And so definitely follow us. Let us know how we can help. Help your fellow shockers. Look out for yourself. And just remember that you're not alone on this journey. We are here to help you every step of the way. And we're so glad you guys are here.
Good morning. My name is Suzanne Reimer, and I'm the Outreach and Communications Assistant for Housing and Residence Life. And I'm going to share with you just a little bit of what to expect when you are moving on to campus. Yeah. So move-in is just about 23 days away. So we're so excited to welcome shockers to our 3 residence halls. We have Shocker Hall, which is one of our 2 first-year student resident halls. We have about 800 students that live here, about 1 to 2 bathrooms per suite. We have free laundry. This is also the home to our Shocker Dining Hall. And then also our Groundhouse Coffee Shop that is also connected to Shocker Hall. We have a front desk that's open. I believe it's now actually going to be 24 hours a day. And we just finalized that. We're finishing up some construction here in our lobby, and we'll have a brand new front desk that'll be open for you 24 hours a day. And that is a place that you can pick up your mail, you can check out resources, you can go if you have questions. In Shocker Hall, we have our living learning communities, which is just groups of students who have kind of a like-minded community on their floor. That those can be academic-based or social-based groups. The Suites is our other first-year residence hall. For our first-year students, it has about 220 bed spaces, so it's a little bit smaller, but they have mostly two-bedroom suites with private bedrooms, and then they share their bathrooms. Each suite has a small kitchen, so a little kitchenette, and then also a washer and dryer and a bathroom. Those beds in the suites are also full-size rather than twin XL, and they're located right next to the flats, which is our upperclassmen dorms. The front desk is also going to now be open 24 hours a day. And then the flats is, like I said, our upperclassmen dorms for our juniors, seniors, our sophomores, juniors, seniors, and graduate students. We have about 400 bed spaces, and each apartment has a full kitchen in it, as well as a little laundry room, and then a private bathroom for each bedroom. We have some shared rooms in the flats, but we also have some true single rooms. The shared rooms have those twin XL beds, but the flats, those true single rooms in the flats have full-size beds like the suites. The clubhouse recreation area is a fun place for residents just to hang out and also study. We have a ping pong table and a pool table and also a shuffleboard table down there. We also at the flats have underground parking or surface parking. So here's a list of things that you can bring and things that you should probably bring to school. I'll go through this list. It's any of your technology, so laptops, your chargers, your phone, all of that fun stuff. Make sure you bring the chargers with them. Clothes and shoes for every season. If you're not from Wichita, we do have every season here. We have really cold temperatures, we have really hot temperatures, and everything in between. So you'll need clothes and shoes for every season, as well as a rain jacket and a winter coat. And then also hangers, toiletries, any of your towels and bedding, and just make sure with your bedding to make sure, like, look up what kind of room you're in to know if you need the full size or the twin XL size. You'll need a laundry basket and detergent. Again, all laundry is free, which is really exciting. You will this year need a vacuum. We won't have those available for checkout at our desks, so you'll need to kind of divide up among your roommates who brings what, and make sure that somebody brings a vacuum. You'll probably want some basic cleaning supplies like a toilet brush. Any of those Clorox wipes are great, anything like that. For Shocker Hall, there is not a mini fridge provided. You can rent one from us, but we suggest that you have a mini fridge of 4.9 cubic feet or smaller. Also a microwave for Shocker Hall, anything that's 700 watt or smaller. And then a few dishes, and then a first aid kit, any medicine that you might need. A social security card is pretty important, especially if you plan to get a job. On or off campus, you'll need that. And then the last thing that I suggest that you bring is painter's tape, because painter's tape does not generally tear up the walls. And then here's a list of what not to bring. You can find a complete list of what, all of our packing list of what to bring, what not to bring on our website. So I'm just gonna go through a few of these. One that I wanted to highlight was the double-sided foam tape, like command strips. Generally those tear our walls up, and so we suggest that you use, tacks or painter's tape to hang up your decorations. And then the other things mostly on here are a fire hazard. So any of those items, like with an open heating element, specifically kitchen items like toasters, toaster ovens, George Foreman grills, traditional coffee makers, and then pressure cookers. The one thing that you can have is an air fryer because it's all internally heated and it's not a pressure cooker. We don't allow like freezer units or any like big refrigerators. At the flats and suites, you do have a full-size refrigerator provided. But that's most of what not to bring. All right, and then one of the staff members that you will, if you're living on campus, that you will interact with most is your resident assistant. So the role of the RA, I just wanted to go through these things, is they are here to provide safety. So each RA rotates duty shifts, both on weeknights and weekends, and they complete health and safety checks, which is where your RA and another RA will come into your room once, I think it's twice this semester, and they'll just check, they'll let you know that they're coming, and they'll check that your room is clean and it's safe for you to live in. And then also for courtesy, they are here to create an inclusive community on their floor and in the residence hall, and then positively represent housing in Wichita State. For connection, they are here to connect residents to resources. A lot of the resources that we generally connect students to are people like the care team, our on-campus CAPS, as well as student health, and many others on campus. We also recommend just getting involved in campus, so joining campus rec, just really helping them get a sense of belonging both in the residence hall and then outside on campus. And then efficiency, our staff is a team, and we want to work as a team to serve our residents really well. And then we also want to address requests of residents in a timely manner. And then if you at all need to contact us, this is our main housing line phone number, and then also our housing email. And then we are located, most of our office staff are in Shocker Hall. We do have a couple of staff members over in the flats and a couple at the suites as well. So feel free to stop on by and let us know how we can help you. Yes.
My name is Isabel Medina Kaiser, and I'm the Director of Disability Services at Wichita State University. Just wanted to go over just some of the information about our office. Next slide, please. Basically, who is disabled under the Americans with Disabilities Act? It's, again, a civil rights issue. Has had many different amendments. And basically, it's a person or an individual that has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits a major life activity, has a record of such a disability, or is regarded as having a disability. These life activities include, but not limited to, learning, working, walking, breathing, hearing, and seeing, in addition to any other physical or sensory functions. And if the student is a person with a disability, then accommodation will be put into place to address their specific needs. Next slide, please. I just wanted to go over some of the different types of disabilities that we have within our office as far as our students coming in. And one of them is learning disabilities. Learning disabilities could be anything from dyscalculia, which is a disability of math, of math, dysgraphia, dyslexia, could be things of short-term retrieval disorders, spelling disorders, writing disorders. So learning disabilities is considered a disability. Next slide, please. The next one would be medical disabilities. It could be a temporary one. Let's say you're riding on your skateboard and you happen to fall and trip and, hurt your arm, especially the arm that you have to write with. We can help with that in different ways, as far as making sure that you have assistive technology that will help you with writing. It could be that you are a student who is dealing with cancer, cerebral palsy, Crohn's disease, diabetes, multiple sclerosis. It could also be food allergies. There's things that we can do to help with the accommodations of food allergies. Next slide, please. One of the areas that we're getting a lot of students that have disabilities is specifically psychological disabilities. It could include things like ADD, ADHD, anxiety disorder, autism, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, you name it. And again, as I believe other people have talked about, there's CAPS on campus, which is the counseling program. So know that there are definitely resources for that. Next slide, please. Could be a student that has hearing or speaking or seeing issues. It could be that the student is deaf and hard of hearing. It could be the student has some type of a speech disorder or a vision disability. Next slide. The process has kind of changed. We're in between and transitioning from a program called Maxient to AIM. Until that actual transition has been accomplished, and we've been running into some issues, so it may not be fully set by fall. But right now, if you are a student that's new to the campus and are wanting accommodations, you just email us at disability.services@wichita.edu and request an intake meeting. That meeting will typically happen via Zoom. In the email, we would like for you to state that you're requesting an intake meeting and state what your disability or disabilities are. You will be then assigned to an intake specialist. The intake specialist will then email you a list of questions that you'll need to answer, and then you will be asked to email your documentation of the disability to the intake specialist. And one of the things as far as documentation, it could be your IEP from high school or K through 12. It could be the 504. It could be a letter from your therapist, a letter from your doctor. That's kind of documentation we will need in order to get accommodations set up for you. Once you've responded to the email from the intake specialist, they will set up an intake meeting with you. The next step is that they will send out your accommodation letters to your professors. We do not state what your disability is. That will be up to you if you want to divulge that information to your professors. Again, this is a very confidential process. If you are a student who's already registered with our office, then you just email us and let us know you want accommodations for the next semester. Next slide, please. Some of the accommodations that we can provide to students that have documentation is extended testing time. It could be distraction-reduced testing environment. It could be private testing environment. Could be rest breaks during exams, especially if you're dealing with any kind of a medical issue. Use of a computer, flexibility with exams and due dates. That's typically for our students with medical issues. We provide accommodated testing that is done through testing services. Next slide, please. We can provide classroom accommodations. It could be that if you're needing a sign language interpreter, it could be that maybe you need to be able to stand in class because you have a back issue. We provide note-taking, but we're really emphasizing our students to utilize a smart pen. It's a pen that will record the class, but also records what you're writing. Again, it's different types of technology that you're going to need to use in work, so we're trying to introduce that to you now. It could be things like ability to leave the classroom. It could be maybe you're having a diabetic episode and you need to go out and get tested or check your blood. It could be maybe we need to talk about emergency evacuation. This is Tornado Alley, as they call it, and so we always have to be prepared for emergencies. Next slide, please. Could be academic or non-academic accommodations. Academic accommodations could be priority class registration. Again, that is more for our students that have medical issues. Again, it could be a single room that they need. However, if you're looking at that right now, it's a little too late. It also, if you're needing emotional support animals. Next slide, please. Could be accommodations for practicums, internships, and clinicals. Next slide, please. Again, information is confidential. Just reminding you about transitioning, making sure that you're knowing how to take your medications if you're on meds, making sure that you've transferred your medication to this area so that you're not going to have any delays in getting your medication. It's even just making sure that you know how to wake up in the morning, and especially if you're a person who's not a person that likes mornings. So just some of those kinds of things. Again, we have some departments that you can get involved in. We have a college diabetes network, that's in the process of becoming a club. We have a disabilities honor society. You have to have a 3.0 GPA. We need work study students. We also need volunteer note takers. And we are in the process of trying to put a mentorship program together. Next slide. Again, we can be contacted at the Office of Disability Services. We're located in Grace Wilkie Hall, room 203. Our phone number is 316-978-3309. Our email is disability.services@wichita.edu. And below is our website. Again, it's www.wichita.edu/services/disability services/. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing you all, and again, join our WSU family. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. We do have one more, and I didn't have a chance to introduce her earlier, but I will bring Heather on, and she will talk about student health services.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Shocker Nation. As you listen to all of us, I hope you're getting some information about the services available. My name is Heather Stafford. I'm the director of the Student Health Services Department, and I'm here to talk to you about the clinic on campus that is specifically for students to treat illness and injuries and preventative care. Next slide, please. So why come to Student Health? We are on campus. We're located in the YMCA in the Student Wellness Center. And you want to come and see us because we have college health professionals and experts that have been working with students for quite a while. We know kind of what their needs are. We're able to get them connected to different resources on campus. So it's not just healthcare, it's healthcare with a little extra. So we are basically a primary care office. We also do a lot of gynecology, a lot of acute care, so sore throats, respiratory infections, so on and so forth. And then basically we see anything that are injuries. We see a lot of preventative, so physical exams, well person visits. We have a laboratory on site, so we are able to do a lot of rapid point of care testing. So strep testing, flu testing, COVID testing, things like that. And then we also draw a lot of blood every day for different various reasons, and we send it to our reference lab at Quest. We also have some other laboratories that we use for different things. So we have a pretty wide array of services, but some of our point of care testing are diagnosed right there in the clinic so that we are able to give the students the information right then and there. We have what we call an institutional drug room. It's not a retail pharmacy, but it's our form of a pharmacy with prescriptions and over-the-counter medications. It's not a pharmacy where you can just walk up with a prescription from your own physician to get filled. You do have to see one of our providers, but that's pretty easy to do. And we make sure that we have a lot of the medications that most students need for a various type of illnesses. We have a lot of discounted services. Our office visits are discounted. Our medications are very discounted, and so are our lab services. So that's another reason to come see us at Student Health. Next slide, please. If you're a housing student, this is a requirement for those of you who plan to live on the on-campus residence halls. And this is regarding meningitis. Meningitis is an infectious disease that can really run pretty fast through a residence hall when they're all living so closely together. This requirement is the residence hall's requirement that all students need to provide some type of documentation in regards to a meningitis vaccination. So if you have a document of the vaccine that you probably received at age 11, and then again after the age of 16, that document needs to be uploaded into our My Shocker Health patient portal. If you need to waive the vaccination for whatever reason, you need to contact me and we can have you complete a waiver. So it's either the documentation of the vaccine or the documentation of the waiver, and that's the requirement. This needs to be done before move-in. You have approximately 14 days around there that you need to get this done. You can turn it in at any time. And if you follow the link at the bottom of this slide, wichita.edu/upload health docs, it guides you on to how to upload those vaccination records. Next slide, please. All students to WSU, regardless if you're living on campus, any student that's new to WSU has to complete a tuberculosis questionnaire screening. And what this is an electronic 4 questions that has to be done before you arrive to campus. You were sent this information and a link to complete it when you enrolled for classes. So you've had a considerable amount of time to get this done. It's just 4 questions. You just click yes or no for each of them. We'll reach out to you if we have any questions, if we need to do some further testing or evaluation, but it's a really, truly easy requirement, and one that has to be done before the 20th day of classes, or your accounts for the university would be put on hold. This is a state of Kansas law that we complete this and have this done as soon as students get to campus. So we want to make sure that everybody gets it done and doesn't have any issues in the future with it. Next slide, please. We've talked about our laboratory services. We still have free COVID testing now while supplies last and while we are still able to receive those federal funds. And as long as we have that, it's a walk-in process for COVID testing anytime between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. at this time. That may change in the future, so always be watching communication from the university. We also have a lot of blood tests that we can do, and like we talked about, the point of care testing. And then we also do free monthly testing for sexually transmitted illnesses. That may be something that you're interested in, so keep an eye out for the P for Pizza event. And this is a free event that tests for HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and hepatitis C. So a really good option to get some free testing done. Next slide, please. Our medication services, like I said, you have to see one of our providers to receive the prescriptions. But if you have your own provider and you just have allergies happening today for some reason, you can just come on over to our Student Wellness Center inside Student Health and purchase those medications from our institutional drug room. Over-the-counter medications are listed on our website, wichita.edu/SHS. And the over-the-counter medications have the brand name, generic name, what it's for, so that if you find something that you're familiar with, you can look it up and then come over and purchase that from us. We also prescribe mental health medications to our students for general anxiety and depression, and we also are now doing ADHD medications. That requires either a formal testing that you have completed in the past and have the documentation of, or an evaluation by the counselors in counseling and prevention services. Next slide, please. The best thing about Student Health is our My Shocker Health patient portal. And this is a portal where you could do numerous things. You can log in to the portal through our website, and this gives you the ability to either schedule appointments. You can quickly message a healthcare provider with our team, and they will respond back to you. We can send you your test results. We can have you pay bills on there. We can have you upload your immunization records, insurance cards, any medical history you want us to know. Everything could be uploaded into that portal. The My Shocker Health portal, you log in through our wichita.edu/SHS website. And I think it's just a really good option for students who work all day and maybe don't have the opportunity to come and see us, but maybe just want to ask a question of a healthcare provider. Like I said, we're available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So they will answer during that time period. And on our website, we also have options in the community for any emergencies, urgencies that you want healthcare for when we're closed. But our providers do answer those messages pretty quickly. And sometimes you just need a little advice and they can help you with that. Next slide, please. So Student Health Services, once again, is located into the YMCA Student Wellness Center. We're available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. All of our social media handles are pound My Shocker Health. If you like our social media accounts, we will pick some winners at the end of the summer after all these orientations are done and give out some free portable speakers. And we really hope that you use Student Health Services while you're here. It's a good opportunity to learn the healthcare world. You can use insurance at Student Health, and so make sure you have your insurance cards when you move to Wichita or to campus, and we will file those insurance plans for you. Some other tips for moving is to make sure you have like a thermometer, some medication to treat for allergies, like a pain reliever, different things after talking to your parents, whether or not you want to go ahead and bring all your prescriptions with you, or get a prescription, bring it with you and fill it here in Wichita somewhere. But I would advise you that if you have a chronic illness, to go ahead and get some of those things done. And that way your personal physician can give you some prescriptions and stuff and you won't have to worry about it when you start classes in the fall. If you have any questions, please let us know. Again, my name is Heather Stafford. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Let me bring everyone else in for questions. So, see, do we got everyone on there? Yes. All right. Well, thank you all for presenting. And let's see, let's go to the questions real quick. All right. So, this one is for care team. So, Ashlyn, can care team be used multiple times?
Yes, absolutely. We know that life doesn't follow a timeline, right? And so you might need us for one time in the fall semester, and then maybe you need us again in the spring. Maybe you don't need us again until your junior or sophomore year. You can use us as many times as you need. There is no limit on how much we can support you.
All right. The next question is for campus activities and recreation. So Tia, is there a limit to the amount of clubs and sports a student can join?
No, there's no limit. And what I like to tell folks is basically you need to base it on your own life experience. So I've seen students over the years that have just dedicated their time to one extracurricular activity. Maybe they play intramurals, or maybe they've entered into a student organization, and they do that to balance out their experience because maybe they're working full time and they're going to class full time, and that's pretty normal. But on the flip side, I've also seen students that are in at least 5 different organizations, have leadership positions in them, still work full time, still go to class full time. You have to base it off your own experience. And if your coursework starts slipping, your grades start slipping, or that you see you're not able to give enough of your time to each of those things, it's probably time to reevaluate and maybe drop one of those so that you can refocus your life and maintain your success in your academics. But we also want to make sure that you're successful and that you find that sense of belonging wherever it may be. So we encourage you to try out a few things, but always remember, classes are first, your education is first.
Thank you. Okay, so housing and residence life. So Suzanne, are students able to live on campus during breaks and at the end of the semester?
Yes, at the end of the semester, I believe we'll send out kind of some communication just asking students what their plan is for any of the breaks, specifically the winter break. But they are allowed to live on campus. So we just make sure that we leave their key access on so that they can still come and go from their room. But yeah, we'll send out that probably late in the fall semester just to ask about their plans.
All right. Isabel, what type of documentation of the disability do I have to provide for accommodations?
Again, IEP, which is your individual education plan that you may have had under K through 12, 504 plan that might have also been more in your high school time period, a letter from your doctor or a letter from your therapist, or if there's been a full comprehensive evaluation, it would be nice to have those.
Okay. And I do have another follow-up question to that. If a student's never used accommodations before, but they may have a disability, do they still need to sign up for your services?
So what happens a lot, at least what we have seen, is a lot of our students come into college not really realizing they have a disability, especially things like a learning disability. And so they may want to go get an evaluation. There's a couple of places on campus that you can get an evaluation. Would be something like maybe the CAPS can do evals on mental health type of stuff. Our psych counseling program can also do some evals, especially if it's learning disabilities. The other thing that sometimes kicks up is you don't realize you have ADD or ADHD until you start school and trying to go, oh my God, how am I going to throw all these balls up in the air and keep them going? especially when you have some kind of a focus issue. So there's other places that you can get evaluated. So if you think you have a disability, contact us, and then we will send you to the places we think that could be helpful for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Heather. So for student health, will my parents know if I request medication from student health?
They will not. Once you're 18 and you've entered into the university system, we follow all HIPAA guidelines protecting everybody's privacy. The only way your parents would know anything is if we do file health insurance on you. And sometimes those claims specifically state out what you received health services for. So always keep that in mind when you come to student health. There's always the option to pay for things in cash instead of insurance. And then if you have a desire to have your parents more involved in your care, we have a authorization that you can come to student health and sign. And this is a formal document that you are giving information to your parents and that they have the right to call us and ask questions. You'll sign that in a certain time span, and we will actually go ahead and answer those questions for your parents as long as you have completed that document. I don't normally try and encourage students to do that. I try to encourage students to try and manage healthcare on their own a little bit. But if you have a chronic illness and you're trying to manage that on your own, maybe you're really having a hard time with your diabetes and controlling your blood sugars, you need a little more help from your parents, by all means, I would really encourage you to fill out that release so that we can talk to your parents as well.
Thank you. All right. So this one is for Tia with campus activities and recreation. Just overall involvement experience. How do you suggest getting involved, and what does that experience look like?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to get involved. The first couple of weeks that you're here at Wichita State, you're going to see a lot of fairs, a lot of tables, and a lot of opportunities to meet people. It may seem very overwhelming. And so my recommendation to you is to do a little research. We have over 150 student organizations on campus, as well as our sport clubs, as well as our events and activities. So to get ahead of the game, you can go to shockersync.wichita.edu. Kaylee, if you want to put that at the bottom here. And that website allows you to kind of browse all of the student organizations that are offered here at Wichita State. And so you might say, I'm an engineering major. And so you can type in keywords and it will pull up all of the student organizations that have any connection to engineering, which could be our engineering council. It could be our National Society of Black Engineers. It could be our Geeks Counseling Services. Like it's any of those things. And if it's a special interest or if it's a sport club, you can still type in those keywords and it'll help you to be able to identify what those involvement experiences are and if they exist. To the other side of that, if you don't see something that you're like, oh, I was involved in this in high school, I really would like to take the initiative and make that happen here at Wichita State, you can get in contact with our partners at SEAL and with like 5 other friends. Getting an advisor and starting a constitution, you can also start your own organization. So there's a lot of opportunities for involvement. And the other thing I'll say, involvement comes in a lot of different ways. That could be joining an organization, that could be attending events and programs, that could also be having a campus job. And so by doing that, you're engaging meaningfully with a lot of different people on campus. You get to meet new people if you're working a desk. Our department itself, we have over 100 student employees that either do intramurals officiating, there's front desk staff, and it's a great way to connect with people and expand your network at Wichita State.
Thank you, Tia. All right, so I have one more question, but this is actually for all of you. So we can just, pass it along to the next person. What is your favorite thing, I guess, about being here in the Shocker community that you think would be good for students who are just coming in to know? Let's start it with, Ashlyn, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I am an alum from Wichita State University, and having been a student here, the support that I got from my faculty was absolutely amazing. I've learned so much. You can ask them not only current academic questions, but also questions kind of about their profession. If you have any interest, and you can be like, hey, I'm really curious about this. What did you do? How did you get started? And so they're just a wealth of knowledge. So never hesitate to reach out to your faculty member. And then having worked here now behind the scenes, it's just a great community. You know, we have a lot of staff, a lot of faculty, a lot of student workers, different departments that all really care about our students and your well-being, your safety, your experience here at WSU. And I just think that that's amazing. And to be a part of that journey and help you in any way we can has been wonderful.
Kaylee, I'll add into that. I'd say from my perspective and the work that I do, I always like to tell people that Wichita State is like a little city. You can live here, you can work here, you can dine here, you have entertainment, and it's also what you make of it. There are so many opportunities here at Wichita State, and the one thing that you just have to do is put yourself out there, whether you introduce yourself to somebody across the lunch table or you go to somebody at an information table. That is a way that you create your place in this society here at Wichita State and take advantage of everything that is here that is offered to you, whether that's meeting with somebody in disability services or going to counseling and prevention services and just having a chat or attending an event. There is so much to offer and you're already paying for it. So like it's kind of like the city taxes. You paid your student fees, you pay your tuition. All of that is here for you. You just have to take advantage of it. And so do it while you're here. And the last part I'll mention is university. Wichita State is kind of has almost a safety net. You've got a big network here and you have an opportunity to kind of, not going to say this, but kind of fail in some instances. There's a lot of trial and error while you're in campus. You know, if you come in one major and you decide that isn't right for you once you get into the coursework, you have an opportunity to change that before you get into the career field. And you've got a lot of people like us, like your faculty, that will be here to mentor you along the way and help you make those connections.
I'll jump on. And I've worked at different universities, a large one and then a smaller one. And this is just the right size, kind of like mom, the little mama bear, what is it, Goldilocks? Just the right size. Because it's a university that is large enough that there's research things that are going on, but small enough that you're not going to get unnoticed. If something's kicking up, we're going to know. And the other nice thing is a lot of applied learning. You're not just going to get your degree, but you're also going to get a chance to use that degree or even do internships to see if that's even the area you want to go into before you actually get the degree. So it's just, like I said, it's just the right size, Goldilocks.
I would say my favorite part about campus is just the people and everything going on. My biggest piece of advice for incoming students, no matter your age, just get involved, get to know the people in your classes, get to know people in clubs or groups. Even if you don't live on campus, my advice is don't just go to class and go home. Make sure you find some things that you like to do on campus and meet a lot of lifelong friends.
I think for me, it's also the students, and I also love the beginning of the year because we might have had a few tough years with COVID, but the beginning of the school year is really exciting, and that's also the time for you to have a lot of access to a lot of things that are going on right at one time. So maybe you can find these things that seem interesting to you without really having to go out of your comfort zone because they're there with a tabling or they're there advertising their whatever services that they have. And then I'd also kind of combine everything that everybody said is, at least join some things, because at any time you join something, that's an opportunity for you to maybe find something you're passionate about, maybe find somebody you connect with that can help you get a job later in life. I mean, it's just everything's an opportunity. And like I'm not sure who said it, but it is what you make out of it. And, you know, that's the way to really go through this whole experience. So thanks.
Thank you guys. I feel like I put all of you on the spot with that question, so I guess I'll share briefly with mine as well. Pretty much what everyone else said. I was here as an undergrad student and got involved on campus. Actually, I knew Tia from Student Activities Council, and then I ended up working with her after college. You get a lot of experience, whether that's you're wanting to build your resume with internships. There's a lot of opportunities on campus or in the Wichita community for that. And then just involvement. There's a lot of fun events going on, programs, and ways to just get to know other students here in this area. So thank you all for taking time out of your day to present and share information with our students. And thank you for everyone who is watching and learning more about student affairs. I'm throwing this banner up on the bottom. Feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at WSU Student Affairs. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us at vpstudentaffairs@wichita.edu. You can also reach out to each of these lovely individuals, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help you out. Message us on social media, whatever way you want to ask us questions, we're happy to help. Remember to please comment your name so we can get you in for a chance to win the $500 book scholarship. But other than that, have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.